You do know that you can block your breakthrough, right? I'm just saying. Just follow me. Yes, you can block your breakthrough. Okay. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. I love to tell people that God has to grow you up much, make you mature, because a lot of times our crash outs, our responses to things in our fleshly ways will block our breakthrough. Okay. And one thing that I have learned myself is that God is going to keep allowing you to do that. Like, he is going to, until you learn the lesson not to do a thing. That's like a person that's believing for marriage, but they keep falling to fornication. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you eventually have to get to a place where you tell your flesh no. Okay. One of the greatest things that will block your breakthrough that the enemy loves to use is unforgiveness. Because if you have unforgiveness, especially if you are a wife, you're going to tear down your own house because your heart has not truly forgiven. And this is where people get messed up, because you desire restoration before you are healed. And the reason why you desire restoration before you're healed is because you have identified your spouse's presence as a source of healing, a source of wholeness, a source of fulfillment. And that right there is idolatry. They become a god to you, and you begin to draw things from them when they are a man. That's a sign of worship. One more thing that could block your breakthrough is being double-minded. Just because your spouse is double-minded, you don't got to be double-minded, okay? You're going to have to make it your duty to believe God. Now, this is a process. I'm not telling you you're going to wake up and just believe, because there are fiery darts from the enemy being thrown at you, but you're going to have to make it your duty to become a person, or pray that God helps you overcome your unbelief so you can have faith, because the Bible tells us that faith is what pleases God. It is impossible to please God when there is no faith. So breakthrough requires you to stand firm even when you don't see anything. And honestly, God will allow you to go through this so that you can learn. A lot of times we don't know what we don't know. A lot of times you don't know, but God is not going to punish you, but he is going to correct you. Those are two different things, okay? So those are some things that could block your breakthrough. Next is your refusal to surrender control. Now listen. Yes, this includes you if you keep on letting it go and picking it up. Letting it go and picking it back up. Just because God is going to forgive you, it doesn't mean that you should do it. Okay? It doesn't mean you should do it just because you know that God's going to forgive you. Okay? Some things require you to grow. If you're facing adversity, this is not a time for you to be defeated, but this is a time for you to grow. Grow. And one other thing that I've grown in my relationship when I need God to do something is you got to really build that intimacy with the Lord, because this relationship is not a transactional relationship. This relationship is where you unconditionally love God, whether he do it or not. So you got to really spend time with the Lord. And I talk to a lot of women who struggle with intimacy with God. And I tell women this all the time. If you do not have intimacy with the Lord, you're growing closer to something else. Okay? If you don't have intimacy with God, you got intimacy with something else, and you're going to have to figure that out. It could be pride. It could be depression. It could be complaining. It could be unforgiveness. You need intimacy with the Lord. This journey is all about obedience. God requires obedience. Obedience does not mean you're going to be perfect. Obedience does not mean that you're not going to mess up. Obedience, in my perspective, is a heart posture. It is a way that we worship God. It is a way that we show God that we love him, right? So you standing is only the vehicle that God is using to drive you closer to him, to get to know him, and of course, God does allow bad things to happen on this stand, but only because he already has a solution, and this is his way of getting you to trust him. Okay? I pray that this video has blessed you, and I'll see y'all in the next one.